there's not much to do when all I can.
So everything will just seems as something that is not in order. So we will look them as maybe life does not make sense. But one interesting thing about it is that after some years in the future, maybe after like 5 or 10, 15 years in the future, then when we have reflection and reflect what has been happened in our life, so we will now start to see that everything had been programmed and they happen according to the time and the season.
If I can lay down beside you, I would.
Okay, and again, there is so many techniques and models that you can use to practice your reflection. For some people, they might choose to stay on the bed and make their eyes close in form of meditation. And while some people, they can choose to stay on the ground and fold their legs and practice it in the way they do their meditation.
Your voice, not sleeping well. And I know that.
But actually, part of my written documentation is exactly what having details that is very interested. So it's not ordinary thing that happen during the day. So it must be a detailed activities.
When nothing really matters, that's all I wanna do. I hope that you are safe and that I will see you soon. If I can lay down beside you, I will.
I was wondering and thinking about how I could keep my life documentation. So I have tried many techniques and checked the one that can help me to keep my series of my stories. So I decided that I would turn up to reflection. So that is what brings this idea. Yeah, welcome guys. Good morning again. This is let me say 9:45 a.m. in Nigeria local time. So today we are going to look into reflection. So this idea came up as of when I started doing my writing. I was 23 years old, if I could remember. Yeah. So the idea came up because I already started doing working on my first novel. So when I was writing this story, so I was just like that I will need to document my life series in the future. So I will start to be putting most of the things that will be happening into my life. At least I will try to be documented so that in nearest future I will do the autograph of my story, because I don't want anybody to biography my story. So I want to do it by myself. So since that inspiration came, so okay, I now started paying attention most of the things that had been happening in my life. So whenever I go to my daily activities, or maybe I attend some event, or maybe I'm interested something that really caught my attention in so many days, so I will try to hold the thought. So then when I get back from the event or whatever that I participated on during that day, so I would like to put them in journal and write them down. So that is how the inspiration came up. So now I would like to share most of the guideline, how the journey of putting my stories down, or most of the vital things that always happen during my daily activities. So I will carry along and show you the guideline how I be practicing my own journaling. Number 1, keep it in a writing form. I mostly implement these styles after rounding up my daily activities. It could be my job, occasion that I attend, travel and vacations. In addition, if I want to keep them fresh, I will turn to my diary and start to document them. Though outside this process, you can still apply this principle in a corporate world that does not relate to your personal stuffs, such as CEO, executive,
and management activities. In incorporating this method into your routine, you can develop a reflective mindset that can enhance your personal growth and your professional development.
Okay guys, so you can see these techniques. So I normally use these techniques maybe if I come back from my daily routine. Maybe I have some important thing that I really like, or maybe they really trigger my idea. So I can just jot those ones during the no after the day, because if I didn't keep the journal during that day, so it might escape from my mind. So that's why I normally do the writing aspect after all my daily activities. But actually, part of my written documentation is exactly what have a details that is very interested. So it's not ordinary thing that happen during the day. So it must be a detailed activities that really happen during that event. So that is what you will need to put down on your documentation.
There's not much to do when all I can is thinking about
This journaling, it has helped me in many ways, because I could remember when I was a kid, if I attend any of the church programs, so I will hear the preacher say something like that God has a plan for every one of us, and again everything that we are doing in life have already been programmed and documented by God. So and God always doing his own things according to the time and the season. So what that preacher is trying to say is that everything happened at a specific time in life. But the funny thing about it is that when those things is happening, we ourselves, individual, we will not get the idea or understand what is happening in our life. So everything will just seems as something that is not in order. So we will look them as maybe life does not make sense. But one interesting thing about it is that after some years in the future, maybe after like 5 or 10 15 years in the future, then when we have reflection and reflect what has been happened in our life, so we will now start to see that everything has been programmed and they happen according to the time and the season. So that is one thing that make reflection helps me in life, because it had made me to get details about many things that have already happened during my childhood.
Again, another exercise you can choose in practicing your reflection is number 2, meditation model. During my reflection exercise, I will segment the pattern of which I will implement so that it can help me to achieve my expected results. Let's take for instance, maybe I want to travel back on things that happened in my old years, or maybe I want to get the details on things that really happened on that specific time frame. What I will do is to turn to meditation exercise. I will sit on the floor surface, cross my foot, and make my eyes close. So on the process of exercising this practice, it will take me back to early age as I meditate, and I will understand exactly what happened during my prime years.
If I can lay down beside you, I would. When nothing.
And again, there is so many techniques and models that you can use to practice your reflection. For some people, they might choose to stay on the bed and make their eyes close in form of meditation. And while some people, they can choose to stay on the ground and fold their legs and practice it in the way they do their meditation. So it depends the one that will be suitable for you. Or sometimes you can also go for a walk, or maybe even in your workplace, you can just sit there and be having reflection.
So another idea is to make yourself comfortable. Most time I can choose to use my bed, and when I make this decision is due to maybe if I have a fatigue day, or maybe I just woke up from sleep and I don't want anything that will stress me. So I will just decide to use my bed so that it can make me to feel more comfortable and have the reflection. And when I want to do this, it's because I want to have a deep thought and thinking about myself. Lastly, it could be in the midst of activities. This goes to people in the workforce space. As somebody like me, although I'm an art entrepreneur and also work in paper corporate firm, but I use this pattern in leisure moments if I want to analyze what is happening in that space. Why this idea of working this own side is that at times you might not crave the time frame at home to reflect due to some environmental factors like family disturbance and so many of them.
So welcome guys, this is where we will cut it short. At least you have learned one or two things from this episode. So this is exactly how I practice my own reflection. Although everybody have their own pattern and their own model, how they normally practice their reflection, but for me I have been using this pattern for ages now. Even most of the things that I've already lost from my memory, so it has helped me to retain the details about what really happened during that time, the season, and during that phase. I have been using this one to keep my journal and to keep some important things that I really need in my life. So if you have any other one that you have come across somewhere, maybe you can just share in our session board so that other people that don't know anything about reflection can learn from you. Thank you for staying tuned. Thank you for keeping eyes on my channels. So see you next time. Thank you.